And like, sometimes it frustrates me how much a lot of white people are in denial of these things. Because think about it, yeah. If white people are saying they want to help Africa or like the third world countries, and they tend to be people of an ethnic minority, and they don't even understand the problems that some of us have to go through living in a predominantly white society, what makes you think that they can help us if they're not even willing to understand us for 2 hours? 2 hours. The show actually lasted 48 minutes, but the actual experiment on Thursday lasted 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours. Now compare 2 hours to, okay, for black people living in Britain, 60 years. There is no comparison. To black people in America, 400 years. Or, I don't know. I actually don't know how long it was. But it was centuries, very long time, that black people were discriminated against. 2 hours, 60 years. Exactly. But they don't know how it feels, and they feel they don't need to know how it feels, because they feel they won't ever be in that position. And like, sometimes I feel, anyway, yeah, they feel they'll never ever be in that position, so they don't need to know. Like, they don't want to talk about the problem. They just want to get to solving it, because they don't want to be seen in a bad light. But then when it comes to like other ethnicities being seen in a bad light, it's all, especially black people, it's fine. Trust me, yeah. The radio program yesterday was like a chance for white people to talk rubbish about black people, especially youth, the young boys. It was like the opportunity to do so, and that's what a lot of these race debates just open doors for racists. Trust me, yeah. A lot of the people who were on the radio program yesterday were blatantly racist. I don't even need to know, just by the way they talk. They usually come up, these are the things they say, yeah. They say, I'm not racist, but that just shows that you're racist. I'm sorry, but if you know you're not racist, you don't have to say that. The second thing is, oh, but I have loads of black friends, so, you know, my cousin was in a relationship with a white girl, yeah, and she racially abused him. You're telling me that because they had a child together and he was black, she couldn't be racist? You know, it's stupid. And thirdly, they tend to bring up stuff that's just not relevant to the argument. Like, they tend to compare, let's say, okay, let's use this example, yeah. On Thursday, this mixed race guy, he was basically talking about how he couldn't pick up his daughter from school without being discriminated against. He had a daughter with a white woman, so his daughter basically looks white, but if he was to go to the school, the people in the school would know that, you know, she had black in her, and they would probably discriminate against her. Then you had this old school teacher who tried to compare his problem to her husband having to change his rugby shirt into a suit to fit the society that he was working in. Now, that is the sort of ridiculous argument they come up with because they have no other argument. Because there is no other argument. You can't argue with the truth. You just can't. If the evidence is right in front of your face, if I lay evidence on the table, how can you knock it back and say it's not true? If it's like proper evidence, everyone sees it. You can't. And then when you try and knock that evidence back, you end up knocking it back with rubbish. Excuses. That's excuses. That's it. Excuses. That's the word I'm looking for. A lot of white British people, yeah, they use excuses to justify why certain things happen. They never ever want to be. When problems arise, they never ever want to be the culprit. You know? That's one thing I've realised, and I'm getting tired of it because I don't see why it's alright to paint black people in a bad light. If you're gonna do that, yeah, don't be upset if someone else is gonna try and do the same thing to you. You know, just don't. But like I was saying, they come up with excuses and ridiculous arguments. Okay, like yesterday, back to the radio program, this black guy came on the radio and he was basically talking about the politicians in Brussels, and he referred to the Brussels as Brussels sprouts. Now, Brussels sprouts is like a nickname. It's like calling an American a Yankee, a Jamaican a Yardie, a New Zealander as a Kiwi, you know. Yeah, it's basically a nickname, right? Then, after this guy was on the radio, this black guy, this white guy came on and said, if I called black people the N-word or Asian people the P-word, he told the radio presenter, you would have taken me off the radio. So why is it okay for this black guy to call people, Flemish people, Brussels sprouts? And I was thinking, like, that is the ridiculous argument a lot of white people tend to come up with. They either try and compare race to hair colour or nationality to race. Not even nationality to race, but just foolishness to race, okay? And, like, everything he said was illogical. The N-word was given to black people by white people to make us feel inferior, to make us know that white people were in control and are always in control, to make us feel less than. Brussels sprouts is a nickname given to Flemish people just because it's just a nickname. But I could understand why it's offensive, because sometimes I get annoyed when people refer to all Jamaicans as Yardies, because, you know, my mother's side of the family, yeah, they're Jamaican, and they are not the stereotypical Yardie. They're not rough and ragged or whatever, and they're not rude or whatever, you know. And Yardie does have a lot of negative stereotypes behind that word. The comparisons that were made yesterday by this man who came on the radio was just ridiculous. And it's not even just him who makes those comparisons, because when I was on the Channel 4 website on Friday after that program on Thursday, I saw the comparisons the white people were making, comparing hair color to race. And it was just ridiculous. It was, oh my gosh, like, this subject, like, annoys me so much. Like, I don't even like talking about it, but it happens so many times that someone has to talk about it. So I'm asking all the white people out there, when you make comparisons, why do you always compare it to something that's so irrelevant, or something that's not even close, something so minor that you can't even compare it to race? And why do you cry out racism when what's being said isn't racist? And why do some of you feel you always have to be in control? Those are the 3 questions I would like to know by any fellow white people out there. Okay? So, I'm off to go shopping, so, yeah, bye.